Rabbi?
So the word cranky, I have no idea where it comes from. I don't know if it has to do with a crankshaft or not, but we all know someone who's been like cranky. You know, when you're cranky, you get angry a little easier. When you're cranky, you can't see things so clearly. When you're cranky, it's I don't know, kind of hard to feel at ease. And aren't there some people that you wish, you see someone that's a real crankpot, and you say, boy, I wish that person would just take a nap. Naps are wonderful, wonderful things. You take a nap and you just rest, and you're not as cranky when you wake up. Things are sort of easier for you. You're able to see things clear, not get so mad. You're better able to appreciate things and see other people and hear them better. Don't you wish you could just, put the little kid down for a nap and have him go to sleep and wake up like that? Don't you wish you could do that with some adults too? Aren't there some adults you just wish, oh my gosh, you're kind of cranky, why don't you take a nap? I have found that even though that's the total right thing to say, it isn't heard very well. It doesn't really help if you say to someone, I think you should take a nap right now. But that doesn't mean it's not the right thing to do. And it's the right thing for us to do as people, not just during the day, but we were the first ones, these Jews, to think of that it's important to do it for a week. Nobody else had a week, 7 days. No one knew from 7 days. Why would you have that? Why order time like that? Well, we did, so that every seventh day we could take a nap. I mean, a kind of a spiritual nap, and come back a little bit more appreciative, things a little easier, not as cranky to the world, not as selfish. We can hear others better. That's what Shabbat is all about. And it's amazing, this one concept of a 7-day week with one of those days being restful, that really took over all over the world. In countries that don't know Judaism at all, they still do a 7-day period with a day off. In America, we like that idea so much that we developed 2 days off for a lot of people. Whoever heard of a 2-day week and a 5-day week? What you're supposed to do a 6-day week? What happened? And it had a lot to do with, believe it or not, with selling cars. And you could sell more cars to people if you told them you have 2 days to go drive somewhere and to vacate, to do vacation. But we had a 2-day weekend, and that sort of took off. In fact, even in Japan, over the last couple of years, they've started developing a 4-day work week, and productivity went up. That's interesting. I mean, when we had we in America, when we had a 5-day work week as opposed to a 7-day work week, that probably was one of the main factors why we were able to become such a world power. They sort of happened consistently at about the same time. That idea of rest helps you be more productive. It's counterintuitive, but it's really built in to this world. I mean, think about like breathing. Breathing is in and out. You start with an exhale before you can do an inhale. The better that you can blow out, the better that you can exhale, the better you can inhale. If you don't hardly blow out, You can't, there's hardly any room to breathe more air in. They go hand in hand. You know, there are some diseases like emphysema, I'm told. It's not hard to inhale, it's hard to exhale. It makes it hard to blow out. Blowing out is like, it's like the rest. It's like Shabbat. Inhale, it's like the rest of the week to empower us to do different things. We need that rest. They go hand in hand. They're integral to each other. And it's not just for us every day, and it's not just for us every week. It's sort of implicit in the world. Animals need to rest. Bears take a really, really, really long rest. They're just waking up right now, and ooh, were they hungry. But the world itself, the very earth itself, according to this week's Torah portion, needs a rest. We're told, and there's two Torah portions, Bahar and Behukotai. We're told in this week, Bahar means on the mountain, that we're like on Mount Sinai and we're able to see a big view. That Shabbat doesn't just apply to people. We learned earlier that Shabbat applies not just to Jewish people, but to everyone that's within your gates, whether they're Jewish or not. It even applies to the animals. The animals need to have a Shabbat rest. And the world does as well. We can plant a field for 6 years, but that 7th year, we need to leave it unplanted. It's called fallow. How are we going to eat? If you don't plant stuff, things don't grow that year. What? Well, you know what? Agriculturally, it's good to give the land a rest, let it recuperate. We do that by crop rotation and stuff like that. But spiritually, to know that we can live without, with 1 year without planting, now that's a lot of faith. And it makes the next year's crop, it enables it to continue on and on. This COVID-19, this coronavirus period, it looks like it's so strange and so unnatural. But we really haven't given the world a rest in a long time. If there was 1 year that we just stopped fishing, maybe we get a whole bunch of fish coming back, and if we did that every 7th year, let the populations grow again and then fish and then grow again and then fish, it might be a whole lot better for us in the long run. Things are happening in this world, things that not all bad things. There are some good things. There are some cities in India, my gosh, people are saying they had no idea that there were snow-covered mountains outside of their city. They had no idea. Now, with no air pollution, they can see them for the first time in their life. The trees, all the trees, every one of those leaves is like a little vacuum cleaner. Leaves are mostly porous. Things come in and out of them. And they take pollution and they take carbon dioxide out of the air and they turn it into sugar and they turn it into oxygen. And we've been shooting out more carbon dioxide than those leaves can possibly process. But now we're not. And the leaves are kind of catching up. They're saying, oh, wow, hey, a rest. Hallelujah. I mean, these few months are huge. Don't get me wrong. They're not going to make up for 100 years of the Industrial Revolution, of nonstop. But they do tell us that rest is important. Maybe our world was getting a little cranky. Maybe our world, the whole world, I mean, not just people, but communities, countries, and nature was getting a little cranky. Maybe it's important to have this rest. I don't know if you ever thought of it that way. The Shabbat for the world that maybe we really, really needed. It's time to, to exhale so that we can inhale. It's a time to look at the world with the opposite of cranky, the opposite. Be more listening. Don't get mad so easily. I think the world can benefit by that. The world is like that too. Able to appreciate things more, to hear better. That's what the goal is. The Torah portion talks about every seventh year not planting, but also 7 years of 7 years. So every 50th year is a super Sabbath year, super duper. It's called Yovel, or we use English letters, Yovel, Yobel, Jobel, Jubilee is what we call it, a Jubilee year, every 50th year. And it's a time for release, just letting go. If you have slaves, you let them go. Land. Every family from the time of Moses had their own section of land. And they didn't really sell it. If you sold it, it wasn't really sold, because every 50th year, if you were so poor that you needed to sell your land, you would be able to go back into your land. You'd get your land back every 50th year. And it would be a way to kind of equalize the wealth between them. It wouldn't totally equalize it. Some people would have more going in, but it was a way to give everyone another chance, to bring them back up to middle class. Everyone could be back up to middle class every 50th year. It's like you get a second chance once in your lifetime. I hope that this coronavirus is a once in a lifetime thing. It's happened before. We've had things like this that have happened before. I hope it doesn't happen again anytime soon. But I hope we can learn from it. And I hope that we can find a way to bring the neediest people back up. Give them another chance. Find a way to restart things with waking up from a nap and starting off fresh. The whole world, the whole country, everybody starting off fresh. It's from this week's Torah portion that we get the powerful words, Ukratem dror ba'aretz l'chol yoshvecha. Those words which really shaped our nation. They're the words which are etched into the Liberty Bell. Because when the Jubilee year comes, we proclaim release, we proclaim liberty. Ukratem dror ba'aretz, proclaim liberty to the whole earth, the whole Yoshvecha, and to everyone that lives there. Proclaim liberty and to all throughout the land and to all the inhabitants thereof. That's kind of the opposite of crankiness. Liberty and listening and lifting up other people, not just worrying about yourself. That's our goal. That's our goal for this coronavirus, or as I call these quarantines. These quarantines. Anyways, with that, I'm going to go over a few different things. Tonight at 7 o'clock, Andrew is going to lead us in Havdalah. And then tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, we've got religious school, the services, which are really, really lovely. We'll do the Zoom at 2 for anyone that wants to check in. It's the same as the Zoom number for the Friday night, every day except for Shabbat. We're not doing it today. And then the 5 at 5 will continue starting tomorrow to pick up. We're moving closer and closer to Shavuot. And so on Thursday night, the 28th at 7 o'clock, we're going to have hoo-ha, such a service. with many of the rabbis in the area and many of the cantors in the area. We're going to count the Omer now. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haOmer. Today is the 37th day of the Omer. Hayom shiv'a ushloshim yom shehem chamisha shavuot u'shnei yamim la'Omer. Our president, Michael Scott, did you have any words you wanted to share? And then Cantor, if you had any words, go right ahead.